I recorded an awesome tarantula molting experience, but the result made everyone lose their mind. This is my Brachypelma hamorii, or commonly known as Mexican fireleg, and as name suggests, she comes from Mexico, and as you can see, she is a beautiful female. She's freshly molted, so that's why she looks so fresh, right? Thankfully, I spotted that she will molt on time, so I set everything up and I managed to record the entire experience. Not just the molting time-lapse, but I also managed to record her flip over, which is a super rare thing. And I also managed to record her heartbeat and a close-up of her hairs and everything, so you will see all of that. Unlike most of the other Brachypelma species that are usually super chill, she's actually pretty nervous and she loves to kick hairs if disturbed. So I assume that if I touch her, if I poke her a bit, you see, immediately she resorts to kicking hairs. And you know what? I would like to record a super slow motion of her kicking hairs. So yeah, let's do that. I need to change the battery for that, because this camera can record in really intense slow motion. I don't remember the frame rate, but I think that it is more than 240. Oh, it is 300 frames per second. Pretty fast, right? So, oh, no, don't move. No, come on, chill. Ah, she was at the perfect spot. I will move her and hopefully she will, oh yeah. And can you hear the frogs? Okay, second attempt. She isn't kicking hairs now, of course. Yes, of course. She did kick hairs, but I think it was out of focus. When you're recording a super slow motion, you can't have out of focus on. Okay, give it now. This is a typical tarantula experience when you are trying to record something. They never do what you want them to do. Impossible. Oh, I think we got that. Let me just check. Okay, you could see what was happening. She was scratching her booty, abdomen, and the hairs were flying around. So that is their defensive mechanism. Anyhow, back to the main point of this video and why everyone lost their minds. So, as she molted, I noticed that her old carapace was basically stuck to her, and naturally I recorded it and I posted it on the Instagram, and the feedback over there was really bad. I had a lot of negative comments saying that is because I don't have water dishes inside of the enclosures, and that is because of the lack of humidity. There were a lot of negative comments, but then I noticed that majority came from a single person that was just commenting on every other comments. So the amount of negative comments was kind of inflated, but whatever. And also there were negative comments because I pulled the carapace, and all of a sudden everyone was an expert on this particular situation, even though have been keeping them for 9 years. This is the first time that I'm witnessing this, so that is also kind of interesting. And also the funniest fact is, this is one of rare enclosures where I actually have a water dish, even though it's buried now, but yeah, she actually got a water dish. As you know, majority of my tarantulas don't have a water dish because I am regularly missing the enclosures, but it's funny that this one actually have a water dish, while people saying that lack of water dish is the main cause. And in regards to not pulling the carapace, as you can see, I removed it. I managed to remove it, and I don't really see any consequences on that. Everything appears normal, and later I will show you how I removed it. I will show you the clip. Also, I have a case of a really bad molt that I already showed in one of previous videos, but there is an update to that situation, so I will also show you later in this video after we deal with all of this. Now let me show you the magic of tarantula molt. This is the first sign of imminent molt. A bald spot will become dark, but it is only visible if the tarantula has a bald spot, which is not always the case. And as I got closer to record it better, I noticed that her heartbeat was actually visible. You can often notice it, but on a freshly molted tarantula that is still super soft. We can also see her beautiful hairs that look almost as a fur when looking at this up close. So I set up the camera, I let it record, and to no one's surprise, she started the molting process. First she needs to create a nice molting mat. She gently spreads her web, and then she also seeds it with her hairs. I'm not really sure why they use their hairs, but I think it has to do something with repelling small bugs like ants, you know. Once it is done, they do this fun little thing that I managed to spot only a couple of times. They flip on their back, which actually looks super clumsy. Anyhow, once she flipped, it took a while for her to actually start to molt, and this actual molt took around 12 hours from flip to her back to flip back to her legs. Here's the time lapse. And here is the horror. Her carapace was stuck, but I didn't really know if it's just an old molt that is barely stuck to her new exoskeleton, or if it's something more serious, some internal connection that didn't separate properly. Pulling it didn't help, but I was being super gentle and careful, so I decided to drop a couple of drops of warm water, which provided to be the winning combination. I easily removed the carapace, and it seems like there were no tears or something like that. Now you see, 2 weeks later, and she's still fine. And to all of you that said that the cause of this problem was lack of water dish, consider this. I've been keeping tarantulas for 9 years. I had countless and countless of tarantulas molting. And this is the first time that I'm witnessing a stuck carapace problem. And not to mention, this is my second juvenile or adult tarantula that had any sort of molting problem. So if this is something that occurs exclusively because of the lack of water dish or lack of humidity in general, then I would definitely already had ton of problems like this, ton of molting problems. But it didn't have any problems. So it is just a simple math. The odds are definitely in my favor in this case. If you consider that more than 500 times tarantulas molted in the dark, then probably way more, but if it's only 500 times and only 2 tarantulas had problems, I would just say that sometimes tarantulas can have a problem with the molt. And that is definitely visible in the next case that I will show you. Because this tarantula, as I already said, had 2 bad molts in a row while having a full water dish all the time. And by the way, look at this change in the dark then. I finally made a dedicated spot for those tall fossorial enclosures. And through this web you can kinda, barely or not, see the Cyriopagopus lividus right there at the edge of the burrow. I'm so mad that this tarantula decided to make a burrow here on this edge, because now she webs this all the time. And as you see, I have a hard time looking at her, but at least she is often outside. Yeah, unlike this one, the Pelinobius muticus, I rarely see her. So yeah. But at least they are fully enjoying their fossorial setups. Now back to this tarantula. This is actually another Brachypelma, Brachypelma hamorii, a juvenile male, and as you can see, he is messed up, like badly. As I said, this is his second bad molt, but actually third bad molt, but first one was not this messy. It all started with some small bump on this part of his abdomen. That was his only problem. He had a small tear over there. So because of that, I added a water dish to his enclosure, because I worried that through that tear he is maybe losing humidity inside of him. So that is why I had this water dish full most of the time. Even though it is not full now, you see, everything is super humid around, and tomorrow it is a scheduled water refilling day. So yeah, it is full most of the time. So I added that after he had that first kind of bad molt, but it wasn't really that alarming. And then the first horror came on the next molt. So while he was having a water dish all the time, he molted again, and he had 3 or I don't know, 4 legs stuck in that molt. I will actually show you the clip of when that happened. I recorded like a reel, but I never posted it. So check it out. This right here is my Brachypelma hamorii male. It is not a mature male, but a juvenile. And from what you can see, he had a really rough molt. 3 of his 8 legs got stuck, and therefore he let them go. So I'm not sure if he'll recover. This was actually, I mean, his last molt was like, if you see this is like a wound that he got on his last molt. Right here, this bump. He's kind of now hiding it, but from what I spotted, it is still persistent, and I'm not sure if that was also the cause of this bad molt, but he kind of seems fine now, and I hope that it will stay like that. Yeah, I'm gonna report you the development, and hopefully next molt will be better. When that happened, I wasn't really sure what to do. I was thinking about maybe euthanizing him, but he appeared that he was all right, and he's now coming up. Why are you coming up? Go down. Oh, sorry. So even though he was so messed up, he still appeared all right. I mean, he moved all right, and he behaved as nothing was happening. And the missing legs on their own are not a problem, because, you know, they can easily regrow it. but he had bumps on his abdomen, multiple bumps, and that was what was worrying. I noticed that it is not that he just had those stuck in the mold and they will just regrow, but it was apparent that the problem was much bigger. So I decided to just leave him be and hope that he will recover on next molt. But now this next molt came, and you see, once again, he got a piece of old mold stuck to that bump over there. And even though he regrew 3 legs, they are still not normal. You see, they're like, I don't know, shivered and blah. It is normal that they are smaller, that is the part of regrowing process, but they should be fully functional, and they definitely aren't. So I have no idea what to do. He still appears fine, he still moves normally. Only thing that I really dislike, he's constantly climbing to the front glass and he is standing like here, and I worry that he will just be dropping down or something. So I want to move him in a shallow plastic tub and hope that he will recover over there. We are going to do that now in this video. Also, I completely forgot the fact that I gave him a name in one of my videos. I named him Paul II after an awesome mature male that we had in the dark den. It was a Brachypelma male that managed to stop the female that tried to eat him during the sexy time. So that's why I gave him that name, to give him strength and hopefully luck in the future. But so far it is not really helping. Not really helping at all. And I have his molt here, so you can see how the leg got stuck inside. Yeah, you see, during the previous molt he lost back 2 legs on this side and back leg on this side, and those are the legs that are actually regenerated now. But this leg, this is the leg that got stuck in this molt, you see. The leg is right here. So yeah, I really don't know, I really don't understand why he got the molting problem, but you can see the water dish is definitely not the thing that prevents this. He got some problem, some internal problem that is causing this molting issue, definitely, not the humidity around him or humidity that he got, because he was normally eating, and you know, tarantulas also get their humidity through the prey they eat. So all other aspects of his life are normal and okay, except the molting problem. There is obviously nothing that I can do, nothing that I can change in this situation, except hope for the best. And that really sucks, because he is one of my oldest tarantulas. He was one of my first Brachypelmas that I got, and originally I got him as a tiny sling. I can pull some old footage so you can see how he looked, how tiny he was and how far he come. That is also the reason why I don't want to give up on him. I'm still hoping, I'm hopeful that he will manage to somehow recover from this situation. Maybe next molt will be better or worse, I don't know. Please keep your fingers crossed so he hopefully manages to get through this whole situation. Because even without all the legs he will be fine, but this is what worries me, you see. This is stuck to him, and I definitely don't want to pull it because I know that there is like a tear in his abdomen that is persistent through the molts. A really nasty situation. So Paul II, we are all rooting for you. Come on, go turn. You will get another spot so you don't need to climb, and ooh, you can see it here really well. You see, this is the problematic spot. Yeah, that is the thing that is persistent through all 3 molts. Okay. You should be much more comfortable here. I know that it is smaller, but for your situation, definitely better. So let me grab some water now, since we are already here. Here we go. So be well, my boy. Of course, I will keep you updated. Just keep those fingers crossed. Anyhow, this was all for this video. I just quickly want to mention that next month I'm coming to an expo in Germany, so keep your eyes on that. I will give you more info in next video, but in case you want to meet me or you want to get my enclosures, start planning your trip. Anyhow, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, thumbs it up and comment something. If you want to support this channel more, there's a Patreon page and a merch page with acrylic enclosures, so you can get those also on the expo where I will come. I upload every Monday, so see you again really soon. Bye!